Hey guys and girls, we are doing another review and walkthrough, and this one, I kind of skipped it for a little while, and I don't know why. I guess because new stuff kept coming in, but this is the new Curado 70 MGL. You can see that right there. Now this is the 8.1 to 1, so the XG version. It really only comes in two versions. There is a 7 to 1 and an 8 to 1 in this, both left and right-handed, obviously. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all the features of this reel, and then we're going to do a practical casting breakdown, because MGL spools from Shimano really cast well. In my opinion, cast easily as well as even DC technology. So I've got an NRX Plus, the new NRX Plus 842, I believe, MBR. Yes, 842C MBR. I got 12-pound Assassin, and I got a line counter so we can do some accurate things. So we're going to see how this reel performs. So to add to the already super stout Curado lineup, Shimano brought out the 70 Curado K MGL. And it's the first one in the Curado lineup to have that MGL, that Magnum Light spool. What the spool is really known for doing is really for low startup inertia. So if you like casting really light baits like balsa hand cranks, tiny top waters, finesse situations, that MGL spool has so little weight to it that it starts up super quickly, makes casting easier. But also for regular baits, it makes casting easier because it doesn't have that heavy weight to it. So it's more effortless when you're casting. So this little 70 size is just great for flipping as well. So if you want to throw the heavy braid on, like 50 or 65 pound Power Pro, or you want to throw heavy fluoro, go for it. This little beast is built to take it. It's got a cross carbon drag that kicks out 12 pounds of drag pressure, really no different than what you would get in a Curado 200K. It's got the Hagane body on it. It's got the micro module gear. It's got X-ship, so double bearing supported pinion gear. The other thing I believe is it's also got a CI4 side plate, and it's got SVS Infinity braking, which makes it super easy to make it, fine-tune it for casting in any situation from the outside. The best part about it, this little package weighs in at 6.9 ounces. So the Curado K70 MGL is available in two gear ratios, a 7.4 to 1 that brings in 29 inches of line per handle turn. It's also available in an 8.1 to 1, which is what I have here, the XG model, and this one here will bring in 32 inches of line per handle turn. What you have to also understand is with a 70 size spool and a smaller frame, you have diminished line capacity. So if you're looking to long bomb baits, stick to the Curado K200. It's going to have that 200 size spool, lots of line capacity. But for this one, 85 yards of 12-pound fluoro or mono it's going to hold. And if you're using braid like Power Pro, 30-pound Power Pro, it's actually going to hold 115 yards. So plenty. We're talking a football field of 30-pound braid. So really a nice reel, lots of features, tons of like S3D spool, MGL spool, lots of features, and 8+1 ball bearings, SARB shielded anti-rust bearings in the Curado K70 MGL. So let's test it. Let's see how this MGL spool does casting. So for a bait for the casting test, I picked something that, isn't overly heavy. This is a 3/8 ounce Jackal MC60 MR, so 3/8 of an ounce. Pretty much an average weight when you're talking. It's not heavy. Listen, it's super easy to cast 3/4 ounce baits, really far. It's a little tougher with 3/8 cranks because this does not have a weight transfer system. And it has a little bit less aerodynamic properties to it. So pick something that's really kind of middle of the road. And I've got my trusty line counter here. We're going to put that on the rod as well. So we'll see how everything plays out here. So setting it up wise, we're going to keep this kind of like I always do. Spool tensioner is going to have a little bit of pressure on that bait, but I always adjust the spool tensioner to the weight of the bait. And for the SVS Infinity, we're going to start it on number 4. But before I do that, let's check inside to see what's going on and what the settings are from the factory. Okay, so right now I could tell you that all of the brakes are on out of the factory, so I'm going to close 2 like I normally do and keep 2 open. So when they're flapped open like this, they're flat, that means they're working. When you pin them up, that renders them ineligible to help with the cast, basically. They're pinned up and they do not flare. So that is going to change things quite a bit. So we're on number 4. Actually, let's start on number 5. Okay, SVS Infinity braking. Okay, pretty good distance for a number 5 cast. Let's reset this to 0. All right, 108 feet. I had my dog chasing the crankbait back the whole way. 108 feet on number 5 setting on SVS Infinity. So let's turn this aside, go down to number 4. There's number 4 right there on SVS Infinity, and see how this one casts. It's almost going out of the backyard. And that's on number 4. So reset to 0, put that up. That was at 105, I believe, on the last cast, so 115. So I've gained 10 feet by going from number 5 to number 4. I'm going to try one more because it is on that loose side. Let's go down to number 3 here. We'll give her one more shot. So I'm going to pop this out. Okay, reset to 0. My dog is caught in the line. Oh yeah. So 119 feet. So every time you reduce the SVS Infinity number, what you're doing is you're actually pushing a race down into the middle of those paddles that I showed you that I changed. And how it works is, if I were to go to number 1, number 1 would basically push the race all the way down and force those little arms to come up, much like the ones that I closed. And thus it gives it less support on the cast, less flaring. When you back it off, and I say you're going from number 4, 5, and up to 6, because that's all it goes to. When you're in number 6, the race is pulled all the way back, and it allows those flaps to have full range of motion and allow the most braking control. So definitely you could see with SVS Infinity braking that every time you move this, you get better results in casting. Now I'm going to try on number 2. It could backlash. Number 3 felt like it was on the edge of where I want to be. Again, we're talking about a bait that does not have a weight transfer system in it. Okay, no weight transfer system, which makes a big difference when you're casting, especially when we got some gusty winds here today. So down to number 2, we'll give it a shot. There it is, number 2 on the SVS Infinity. Definitely need to use some thumb control there. Definitely, you got a little bit of looseness at the end. But I would say number 3, if you like a loose spool setting, would be kind of where you want to be. We're not even going to worry about the distance of that because I basically thumbed her down. But all in all, I could tell you this. For a reel that is 70 size, it holds plenty of line. If you're casting a bait like a 3/8 crankbait 100 plus feet, you're doing well with it. You're covering a lot of water with it. And the beauty of this reel, like we said off the beginning, is it's perfectly suited for flipping and banging in heavy cover. If you're a guy that does a lot of short range pitches in and around docks, around cover, don't be afraid of the Curado 70 XG MGL reel. This little baby here can handle anything you're gonna throw at it. That's all we got for this week. I mean, that's our walkthrough. Really nice product. If you guys could do me a favor, click the subscribe button at the bottom. That helps you guys keep on top of when I'm doing these ones. I try to do new videos every couple weeks on new product. My next one I'm gonna be doing is the 70 SLX MGL, which also came out around the same time as the Curado. Another great addition from the Shimano family, even reduced in price. So there you have it, guys. 70 MGL Curado K review. Again, guys, click subscribe, and we'll see you next week.